Hello and welcome to Rick's Kits. Today I've got a kit on the bench which I started back at the beginning of April when the first lockdown went live with the country. It's a Jagdpanther Late version G. As you can see, it's nearly finished. There's only a few odd bits and pieces that need to be done on it. The track and all the tools, the gun to be mounted, etc. A bit of weathering up, and of course the figure. The reason I'm doing this one today and not the 250-120 from AFE Club is, to be honest with you, the 251 wound me up so much there was too much wrong with it, so I'm going to have to take a break from that. I will get back round to it, but I just am not in the mood to play around with fiddly bits and silly mistakes by the manufacturer and on how the thing goes together. So we're going to continue, or I'm going to continue with this kit. It is a Tamiya kit. There's no extras on this at all, and it shouldn't be more than 2 videos, if that, because I need at least maybe one video just to mess around with the figure. So let's crack on. So we've got rubber band tracks, as you can see. It's not the ideal solution anymore for kits. We get slight warpage where it's been sitting in the box for a while. Like this one is a bit bent up on the end, but I'm sure we can get round those. So they're going to need painting. I'll shut those up the back out of the way. There's not much to be glued on here. We've got the gun to put on. We've got the tow ropes to go on. We've got the commander's hatch covers to go on. We've got the track block to go on. Tool clamps for towing. Extinguisher. And the rest of the tools. I did originally have some extras for this, but I stuck them with one of the other kits instead. So when we come around to doing one of the other Panther Gs, that's when I'll bring out the other photo etch and aftermarket parts. So you'll have full tracks on the other kit when I start it. This one's just basically going to be straight out of the box. So paint on the wheels. I do hate the Panther wheels, but they're on. They're sorted. So let's crack on. Basically, I need to paint up tools more than anything else, so this could be a very frustrating to watch. So I need to get myself, I'm going to have some oily steel, model colour oily steel for the metallics. We're going to use probably, what can I use for the handles. Might be German camouflage brown, which is this darker brown, the medium brown. Potentially using that. Oh, sorry for the cam shake. So they're going to be water based. So I need a good brush, or a decent brush to deal with these. So I'm going to go to my old faithful for the moment till I can get a newer brush. And that's my tannery number 1. So I've got my water. I need to get my paint palette. It's a very dirty paint palette. That close in. Let's shake up this oily steel. Now, I think what I'll do is I'll paint that part and that part first while it's sitting on the tank. Machine gun's going to need painting. There's spare tracks that are going to need painting. And this stuff's been sitting for a while. So, got to give it a good shake, mix it up. I would normally have a wet palette on the go, but I can't remember where I put it. That might do for now. Suffice for now, anyway. So, oily steel for the tools. It's got to be better than bright silver, or we're going to use gunmetal grey as well, because we need that for the bow machine gun. Let's get some water. And get it out, and we're going to want about one and a bit drops of water. That mix in. There's a possibility this might be too watery, so I might have to add a bit more colour back to it. Let's have a look. I'll test it out. Yeah, it might need a couple of coats. I wouldn't generally paint the tools how they would normally be. I'd normally go straight over the top with the camouflage colour. These vehicles, when they were painted in the field, generally wouldn't have the tools whipped off. Some troops might, some panzer crews might, but like think the consensus of opinion is most of the tools were still on the vehicles when they were painted. This needs a bit more. A bit more colour on this. It's not quite getting that. A bit too wet. Yeah, I only need to add a little bit more paint in the bottom. There's a little bit too much water. Now we've got a shed load of paint. Now I'm going to need at least 2 or 3 coats on this to get this right. Let's go underneath. It might have been easier if I hadn't put that on. Silly things. That isn't working, is it? Right, let's got paint on there. Yeah, that's not working. I have to think of something else on that. I might take those off and redo those. These I'm just going to paint what you can see. Might be a better idea. Holding the thing in place. I'm going to have to knock these edges up or drop it. I'm going to wick a little bit of little wash on this as well. Make them so they're a little bit knocked up. Lay it down carefully. Not very careful with it. Well, I'm not looking forward to the next 4 weeks, but needs must. If it helps get on top of this nasty virus. That's destroying the world at the moment. Very similar to the other one. Get out without destroying any paint. What have we got here? So, I think we'll need these ones. See, I'm not very prepared today. Okay, who's next? A hammerhead. hidden away in that clasp. Let's put onto that side because that's got enough wood for the handles. Right, now we've got the get that on there. We've got some wire cutters. Now, in the old days, the whole thing used to get painted, but since then, it appears that this end of these wire cutters were very, very rarely made of wood. They were made of a substance called bakelite. Now, you wouldn't be incorrect to paint these eventually, because bakelite is a very brittle substance. So I need to find a reddy brown colour for those. And we've got the old X. Obviously, it wasn't just a red brown bakelite, they had black bakelite as well, or a dark brown, very dark brown bakelite. So I must remember it's not metal, it's bakelite. We'll put the bakelite bit over there. So when you find a reddy brown, probably trying to think. Might use. There's another German camo colour I can use for the bakelite handles. Let's see. This is the German camo, black brown. So that might be very good for the bakelite handles. bit of a coat there, but shouldn't really be visible. Probably top that off with some bit of a wash. This is the crank. Murdered this brush. It's chock-a-block with paint and doesn't look very good. This is a starting crank. That's what they wind the engine up with. Well, sorry, they want the generator up inside the engine case. And they hit that magic button and that lovely big cat sound comes. I'll put some still on there. We all love it when the kitty cat purrs. Okay, so that's those. To clean up this brush, it's awful. Oh no, I forgot about these. Crikey, I can't pick them up. I need to do these as well. I'll do them again. I'll do it later. This brush is a bit naff at the moment. Not getting a very good straight line out of it. I'm having a very good time today. I like to do gaming as well. I've got 2 games. Well, one game I'm playing at the moment is Genshin Impact. It's the Chinese firm that's made a Japanese anime style game. Sort of looks a bit like Zelda. And can cost you a lot of money if you're not careful. So I'm just getting a point on my brush. But if you're like me and you're sensible, you just do F2P, which is free to play. Don't buy anything. It's not worth going into debt over. So we'll let those little bits dry. Now, I need to do 1 or 2 things here with this wood block. There is grain on there. That's okay. Right. That might save me a bit of time. Whether the wash will work with it or not, I don't know. So let's get a bit of blue tack. Stack this up on the back. Stick a toothpick in it. There we go. Right, now where's that? See, that might make that German camouflage brown too dark. What else we got? Khaki won't be no good. I need something a bit. I really want to go something for a bit lighter wood. What have I done with it? Because it's gonna be a hard. It's not a soft wood. It'll be a hard wood, but it won't be mahogany, which is obviously extremely hard. Right. This is a bit of a bugger. Got loads of nice browns, but what's this? Let's see what this looks like. Because I want to bring it up with washes more than anything. Cool. Maybe because that's slightly it's light. It's a sort of grey brown. So look at German camouflage pale brown. That'd probably do for the handles actually. Maybe. Right. No, bugger it. Oh, shoot. Let's do it this way. Hopefully we'll get what colour I'm looking for. If not, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm not a perfectionist. Let's see how it goes. Right. Still on some water. Try and get it ratio right this time. Again, that might be a little bit too much if I just grab some back. Nothing to work right home about. as I would usually go with something like a deck tan, but not the actual deck tan. There's another, what do you call it? Wooden deck tan. And this is sort of on the same lines as that colour. So yeah, that's what we want. I'm not going to look at that side very well. Should really paint in one direction. I'll give this a couple of coats anyway. A couple of light coats. So it starts to dry up. Now the fire extinguisher should have really been put on the kit and painted while it was on there, but I didn't do it. So now I've got this dark grey fire extinguisher, which will have to be painted red. It's not going to be a bright red, obviously. It's going to be a fairly lightish, pale red. But it's been sitting on the outside of the tank for God knows how long, so it would have been weathered up slightly by the sun, would have got to it. Can't have a fire extinguisher sticking out like a sore thumb, can you? Like I said, I should have painted it while it was attached to the vehicle. And that way it would have had the camouflage colours on it. So that's the colour we're looking for. Well, that's the base colour I'm looking for. So let's shove that over the back out of the way for a sec. Or just around the back of the tank, get that chance to dry out. And could I use that for that? I'll have to think about that one. I could use it. It'd have to be very watered down look. So let's actually, I might get away with that fire extinguisher. It's the junior school. I would have been about 7, maybe 8 years old at the time, I think. Possibly 8. I can't remember the teacher's name, but he was an art teacher, and he used to get brought in, like one of these supply teachers that you see. Well, and he used to get brought in every Thursday in the afternoon to do arts and crafts, just to give the normal teacher a bit of a break. It's a shame I can't remember his name. Very nice man. And very knowledgeable in armoured vehicles. And this 1 week, which lasted about 3 weeks, for the boys, we had to make a Jagdpanther. So it was out of cardboard, and the wheels were out of cotton reels, and all the other like tow hooks and stuff were made out of thin wool. And I really enjoyed putting it together. He'd designed it himself. It wasn't something that could be downloaded, so he'd cut it all out. And the thing was about, the actual body and that on it was about this big. So it was a lot bigger than a 1/35th scale. But obviously not as big as a 1/16th. And thanks to that teacher, that got me into armoured vehicles, because I'd only been painting aeroplanes for a little while. I'm not very good at that either. I was absolutely terrible at that age. You know how it goes, whack it all together, glue all over the canopy, finger marks everywhere where you've got stuck to the model. So yeah, that was the best 3 weeks of school, I think, during my junior period. Being introduced to a Sd.Kfz.173 G. Oh, crikey, how many years did I have that before it started falling apart? Probably, I think it ended up getting binned around about 3 years later. It didn't last. I used to sit and play with it. Very, very proud of that. So thanks to that lovely teacher, that got me into model vehicles, armoured. notably German. Yeah, very pleased with that teacher. Alright, let's shake up some gunmetal. It's the only downside to acrylics. They need to have a lot of shaking. Well, actually, I think what I'll do is I'll paint these cables in that, but I'm not going to use my good brush because it keeps messing it up. So I'm going to go with a rather rubbish Citadel starter brush. And it is rubbish. It's an awful brush. But it's okay for putting down base coats. Let's have another go at this. Because now that's had some paint on it, might not. Yeah, it still washes away. That's a pain in the bum. Can't get anything to stick on that. I think it's still that at all. Bloody thing. Don't think it's finger marks or anything like that. There's something that probably needs a coat of what do you call it, IPA or something, to get rid of all the agents and stuff that would be attached to it. So at some point I've got to stick these on, and I've got to do it. I've got to warm them up without melting them, just so they could get a natural kink. I must remember I need to do the ends as well, where they wrap around the metal like shackle thing on the end. A bit of a brain fart today. Probably ain't going to be able to see this very well. I'm doing my best to keep it in camera shot, but unfortunately, as you can see, it's very flexible. It twiddles around all over the place. We're going to have to let that middle bit dry before I get attached to the ends. One thing I really miss this year is the model shows and the club shows. I've done all right for myself last year. And quite a few firsts, but not for armour, for figures. What should I say? The like 1/10 scale busts. And my intention is to actually paint one of those up on a stream or in a video at some point. So I had to go off the camera because I couldn't keep things straight. It's driving me nuts. So yeah, I do like painting figures as well. Not keen on the smaller scales. So 1/35 is probably the smallest I would go. Comfortable painting with just above basic detail. I've seen some painters that go right down to 1/72 scale and put a hell of a lot of detail into their figures. I'm happy with the larger scale. Right, let's get this gun barrel dealt with. The MG34 barrel machine gun. Got off the camera there again. Very sorry, but I can't see down there to get the paint where I need it to go. Right, so that's the barrel machine gun done. I think what I need, they're okay as they are. I'll wait for the tone ropes to dry. Barrel machine gun's drying. Let's have another look at this revisit this one. So it's got some oily steel, usable steel, because this needs another coat. There we go. Another coat on the X. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about the roller rope. It's not playing ball. Might have to try and squeeze that off somehow. So it's on there with super glue. Right, so basically that's the metallic part. Oh, itchy nose. Of the tools done. Oh, blimey. Not been bitten by bloody fleas. I think I need a new chair to sit on as well. This one's a bit creaky. Every time I move, it squeaks. So I might be making a few of these videos actually of part built kits, stuff that I've started and not got round to finishing. And I'm sure that AFV Club 25120 will be part of that as well. If I don't bin it. It's a freaking nightmare. Nightmare. Right. Right, well, there's the... I've got the tanker figure for this. Oh, so I've started his face. If we can get him into focus. So that's sort of about as basic as or as tight as I go with faces. But the light in here doesn't do much. Doesn't give you half as good as what it looks like in person. Got a lot of light coming down from up there, which I can't do much about. But yeah. This is see, I need to put the eyes in, but you have to be careful with the eyes. Where are we going? Bloody camera's back to front. No, come on. There we go. See, this gentleman's got blue eyes. Proper Aryan. He's a driver of a Famo, which I'm going to be doing a diorama of. That's nearly finished. I'll quickly show you. So this is what I prefer figure-wise. There we go. This is a, as you can see, a Napoleonic figure. It's French. All the skin tones are oils with acrylics. It's not showing either very well, but there is highlights and shading in that hair. He comes complete with oh, not camera for 6. Comes complete with this. As you see, I'm in the process of painting this one as well. This is his horse, and basically he attaches on there, and that'll be done hopefully for next year. I'll get that sorted. So that's my preferred figure range. I've got to get this back on the shelf without knocking everything on the floor again. And we've got a couple of 3D prints going on. So Gollum. And old Frank. That's not a very good print. It's very basic. We got Twilight R2D2. Anyway, that's by the by. We're making a armoured vehicle. Okay, right. While I'm waiting for these to dry up a bit, I need to go and visit the little boy's room. And I also need to get a drink, so I'll be away for a couple of moments. I shall be back shortly. I'm not going to put you on hold. You can stare at the tank and have a look at all the problems with the camouflage. Okay, back. Got my cup of coffee. We'll crack on with this. So they should be dryish. Yep, so I can crack on with the ends of that. Get the paint down on the ends of this. I think we'll definitely give this a wash as well. Just so it makes it stick out. Trying to get that stuck on the arm. Well, I hope this camera position is much better this way. For you guys anyway. For me, got the thing stuck up my nostril. He didn't last long, did he? It's in and gone. Okay. That's that gaudiness done. So I've got to do the brown on these tool handles now. I'll wash on the tool. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. On the old wooden block. That's going to need a wash applied to that. So, do I paint this red? Or do I? It goes there. It's almost yellow, isn't it? Excuse me. That bit's almost yellow. Oh, must be nearly lunchtime. Lunchtime? Blimey, tea time, sorry. That means I've now got to find the colour that I used and paint it that colour. E. I would have it missing, but that means there'd be a nasty big block just there. That won't do. I can't do anything with that blinking wire. Let's see if it's possible to get this back off. Yes, it is. I think I'll leave that scratch on there. Now I can paint that up and then put it back on properly. Or just not bother. Great, I've just spilled coffee all down me. Jesus. Hang on, I need to get a towel in. Filthy devil. All me bloody paint as well. What's that roller? Right, well that's going to make it easier for me. I might have to find something else to put it in its place if that stuff bends up. Right, let's leave that to one side to do its thing. Blimey. go back to where we were. Right, so I've got those down. Now they are fairly dry. I can feel it's a little bit tacky, but that's going to go on there, and then from there it's got to somehow come across the back here. And the difference, you might just have to sit like that. Or they depicting it on here. Lying across the back of the deck. I really need to get all the tools into position first before I do anything like that. Basically it comes along there with all its humps and bumps, and then goes round and lays on the back of the deck there somewhere. Okay, let's let those dry off properly. I'm getting a little bit of rubbish on my fingers. So let's leave those there. Got the hatches out. Now I need to paint the inside of these as well, because inside of this tank is white, one off white. I've got it white. Should really be off white. Off white. What do they call it? I can't remember what it was now. Ivory sand. Something like RAW 1001. It's all debatable, isn't it? So I should probably give that a coat of off-white. He's stretching between everything. Probably best to give it a coat of off-white. Let me give it a coat of off-white now. The old squeaky chair. Blimey. Right out of breath. Phew. Give myself a headache doing that. What was I doing? Oh, painting the inside of the hatches white. It's going to be interesting. Nice, come here. Put that underneath. So I should probably get painted up in it as well. Should really have got rid of that as well, because then the hatch is going to be open. Don't know what I was thinking back in March. to paint them up extremely well because I don't think they would be. I think they would be hastily painted. They'd be worn away a bit. I think really on the inside. Paint would be rubbed, so it wouldn't be 100% perfect paint job on it. Might do another coat when it's dried. Right. So let's do that. Sounds like a good idea. Try not to put too much paint on the brush so it doesn't look like. Right. Do that because it's almost like wooden deck tan colour. I think that looks better actually. Nearly painted the tank then. Brushes a bit. What little sausage things getting in the way. And that on this one. Sledgehammer. Move down the shaft. create some brush lines. Wouldn't normally want brush lines in your paintwork, but I'm trying to paint wood, so it'd be nice to try and give it some sort of grain. Right, that's those bits. Let's let them dry. No, have I? No, I don't think I have. I might have some spare metal tracks instead of the plastic ones. To go on the back here. Have a quick skiddy. Doing some somewhere. No, these are D tracks. It's only extra armor plate, isn't it? So it makes things a little bit better. We can do those. Add those to it. Okay. How am I going to rust these up if I haven't got my rust stuff? Oh. I'll have to do it by hand. I have to paint it by hand. Did I really use all that up? Must have. That's it. That's the coffee finished. I'll have to get some more Let's see how those compare to these supposed rubber G's. Very similar. Any slight difference is those two bits on the outer edge. Those bits in the middle. Turn it that way, it's not. Turn it that way, it's identical. So I'm going to use those for the spare track links on the side of the vehicle. They'll be hanging off the side of the vehicle, like that. Obviously not that high. But they'll be there somewhere, about there. So I've got those to put together, make rusty. Let's give these another coat of white. That's the lazy boy's way. Not taking the injector pins out. We'll fill them in. That's that done. So that's finished for that part. If it wasn't the fact that I was live for the last 1.5 hours, I would cut this video down to a normal video of about 15 minutes. And what have we got done? Not a lot. Not a lot for 1.5 hours work. I can actually put on one of these tools already. have to go. Where's my glue? It's going to go on there. So I can get it on there without getting my sausage fingers in the way. Right, there's one on. Now what about this one? That goes here. Oh, or it flies off. Goes there, or it flies off. Off again. Crikey, come on. There, let's not play with that. Let's settle. Bloody thing. We can get that on there as well. Doesn't look like it wants to go. There we go. Well, it's not too bad. Got a couple of tools on. I'll paint that. Hang on, let's flip. Try not to pull them off. Now, will that one go? Will that go? Let's look at this tooling on the other side. Which for some other reason is not quite showing me. Where is it? Ah, there we go. So we can get this on. Try not to touch the other side. There we go. That's on. At least they're out of the way. What goes on this side? Right, so this side is the shovel and cutters. On the other side is the hammer and the axe and the fire. I don't know about that. Shall I paint it red? I think I'll paint it red. I think I'll paint it red. Just to nice bright red fire extinguisher. No, I won't. No, I won't. It's got to have a dunkel gelb on it. Right, so let's try. I need wire cutters. Let's use the, what did I say? I was going to use the German black, the black brown. For the Bakelite handles. Right, we got this one. Feels very wet. Straight out of the bottle. I'm not worried too much about underneath. That's going to be too close to the tank. So I don't care if it misses a little bit like that. So there we go. Black brown. Looks totally black. Keep them that way up. What I need is a daylight bulb of some sort. But positioned somewhere where you can see the colours. I mean, that's fine. But unfortunately, when you paint in here, the camera's focusing on the back here because there's too much light going on around the back. Right, I want my skanky brush, skanky starter brush. And we're going to put down some wash Now I'm going to use, even though it takes a bit of time, takes a little bit of time to dry, if I can find it. I'm going to use Eggrax Earth Shade. And that's Citadel Miniatures, by the way. It's not 100% my shade of choice, but it seems to do what I want it to do. Bit of fluff. So really, all I want to concentrate on is getting it down there, right down the edges. I leave it slightly mottled on there as well. Almost. So I'll move that tank just for the minute. Then we might have a better chance of seeing what I'm doing. See, we're leaving it. With colouring in the I'll have it to draw a little bit, and then flex or stipple. Or wash as it's starting to dry. Come on, not normally this bad. Too much for that. You can just about see the grain. Just about see the wood grain. That's ideal. At least I think it's ideal for me. And I'm going to go similar on the rest of the tools. Make sure you get to the end. Just create that bit of shadow on the back, on the top end, around the tooling clips here. Not really too bad. Probably go on it around it in. pull the wash up. Put it down. That's okay for me. Oh, I get stuck to these things. That's going to go with a little lob in there. Well, it works well for most stains to the old aggro shade. There's another one I use is Seraphim Sepia. If I want a more richer brown. Now this will all dry off. Dry it down to a matte. Like a matte stain. So that's those handles. That's the wood on those handles. I'll have another pop at this because it's dried up a bit now. So I'll add a bit more into the cut edges. Just to put a little bit more into the box. To make it look grainy. Not to get it on the outer edge. That's might see it better from there. Don't know. We'll give up with all this lighting. Get out of it. Oh, right, there we go, knocking the crap out of the camera again. Right, so that's Agrax. If I want to make it a little bit darker in the top ends where the brackets and that is. I might use a bit of Nuln oil if I want to make the handles a little bit reddy colour. I'll use Seraphim Sepia. But obviously the thing with these is you need to let the previous wash dry, preferably first, before you add the next coat. Because like most things, if you don't let it dry properly, it comes off. I like to airbrush those as well. Because airbrushing the Agrax Earth shade over a metallic gives you a nice dark, it's not copper, it's more like a bronze, very dark bronze. And the Seraphim Sepia will give you a dark copper. But again, you have to let it dry and you have to put a few coats down. And then you go right into the recesses with a bit of airbrushing of the old Nuln oil as well. Right. Tools are done, just about. I think while I'm waiting for those to dry out a bit, I needed the Nuln oil, but I'll just put it away. Silly bugger. Give that a shake. I always find this one a little bit, doesn't go down very well. I've always found the Nuln oil to be like that. Go over the oily still. I'm deliberately going to leave them middle bare. Should leave the other end. Should leave that bare as well, really. That didn't glue very well, that is. Just do a bit over the top of that. Not too much. And then I have a machine gun on the front, which you can't see me doing. And a small one. Now what I should really do is silver up oh, I haven't even painted them yet. That's going on bare plastic. Okay, I need to seal those up. It's not the same on the back. Not quite, but Yeah, that's probably not good, is it? Bare plastic. Duh. Right, so using that normal as it start, we just make that area there a little bit blacker. Ta-da. Sort of like wood grain. I wish you could see what I was seeing. Okay, we can actually let those dry properly now. To go in that corner now. To get it on the other top. That dark onto there. Darken that up. That's going to be in shadow. It sits on the side of the vehicle. Or shall we have it? Let's have it this side. The other side looks a bit naff. Make it a little bit stained. I think I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Dry. I want to get the other bits on the tank before I add any agric surface shade to them. Obviously, if you don't like it that well, just add some water and you can pull it back before it fully dries. give it. Yeah. Right, we'll get those bits on and let them dry on the tank. Or should I stand corrected and say I will let them dry on the tank destroyer? And then we can take a look at potentially doing the tracks. How are we doing for time? Might give it about another 20 minutes, I think. Right, so the sledgy will be sitting here. Got some tidying up to do. So that's the sledgy sitting there. The axe is going to be sitting here. Bloody hell. And then we need to flip. Without taking anything off of this side. And we need the shovel, or spade, we're going to call it. We go there. So we've got fireworks going already. I already hate fireworks. They should be banned. Banned from home use. Right, so I'm happy where they are on, where they're placed. See, we still got issues with light. There you go. Got the shovel and the wire cutters on that side. And the axe and the hammer. The rest of the tools on this side. Now that has dried off considerably. Oh, I left the muck inside. Now, which is the top? That's going to be the top. I need to that's got to go here. I can locate the holes for it. And gently hold it in place, drop a bit of tiny glue there. So square, yeah. And now drop a bit more down this side. That's probably way too much. I think that looks pretty neat, actually. With the wood block. So I've got to decide what I'm doing with. I've really got to decide what I'm doing with this fire extinguisher. You can't leave it off because it's got a block there. So it's going to need to be on. Or then again, it's going to need to be falling off. Still got to clean it up a little bit as well. So I might leave it grey. Didn't think about these either back in March when I done this. I need dealing with. Where's my knife? Cut that bit of rubbish off the bottom there. There you go. Bloody horrible seam line everywhere as well. I need to redo that. Right, okay. I'm calling time on this one. Today. As you see, I haven't painted the barrel. That's because this one had a replacement barrel on it. If I can find the picture again. What it meant, had a replacement barrel. So this is going to be red oxide or red primer they use, and then you're going to have a grey barrel. It's going to go on there. Don't know how far out it's going to have to be. see, we can put that in place. Sorry, my fingers are in the way. There's really no day of rest for anybody nowadays, is there? There's always somebody's got to be doing something. Saturday's the best time for your fireworks. Okay. That's it. Definitely calling it now. So, thank you. And I'll be doing this again probably next Saturday. Instead of Sunday. Thank you for being with me. Have a good night and have a good week as best you can in the circumstances.